Douglas, what are you doing? Come on, Douglas, what are you doing? Good morning, it's Cameron on the main Lower Road. I'm going to talk some more about my 50s RS cars I'm working on and weathering them and putting this set together. But Boo Boo here's star of the introductory to the show. Hey Boo Boo, say hello. Hi everybody, Cameron from Cameron's Main Central Lower Road. Talk a little bit today about cars and operations and a company that I really like their product is Accurail. Now they make a significant amount of different types and kinds of cars that you can have, from way back in the 36-foot Fowler cars up to modern day box cars and auto racks and stuff like that. But I like them because they're very simple. And for operations, you know, I've got some nicely detailed cars, and I've got some cars that I've put some effort into detail, but the problem is on operations, they get touched a lot, they get derailed and stuff like that, but these cars are very simple, and they still look very good, in my opinion. I've already started doing the weathering and painting of the trucks and wheels on that. And the other thing is that they make, you know, kits of you know, a lot of the different prototypes that aren't out there by the larger manufacturers. So they've got a lot of Main Central stuff. And these 50-foot double door box cars were purchased in the 40s, so this is going to go my 50s era's layout. And so I bought 9 of them. And these cars have all been relettered from the original car. The car that comes in the kit is 9018, and they bought 50 of them, so they got 9001 up through 9050. And but I was able to re-decal them with these decal sheets that you get from Accurail. So over here you can see the one, what's left of the Main Central ones. I actually had an accident in the last car. I dropped one of the decal sheets into the water and almost couldn't finish the last car. And then I have these decal sheets for the armor car. So here you can see the armor car where it's relettered. I think after I dull coat this and do some weathering, you won't notice that difference in color. But the ones in the Main Central, I've done nothing to them, and it's really difficult to tell. Matter of fact, if I didn't know, I would say they are all just factory lettered. And but I'm going to go ahead and go through the weathering process in these cars here, and we'll show you what they look like when I'm done. So we're going to work on a large fleet of cars from my 50s era layout, and the first thing I'm going to do is weather the undersides of the cars. Now you can take them off and paint them individually and do airbrushing and stuff like that, but I use one color to start with, and this works later on in it, but I like Model Masters Railroad Tie Brown, and unfortunately this is no longer being produced, so I have bought every bottle I can find because I use this as my go-to for my underbody and truck and wheelbase color. So what I do is just basically paint the wheels, and I don't even take them out of the trucks, but I just roll the wheel around my finger, get the truck covered up, or the wheel covered up, so that it has a that dark brownish look. You do the back sides also. Doug's in the back because he's on the porch and he wants to come in, but he's supposed to be eating his breakfast now, but he wants to come in because everybody else is in. And then I paint the truck itself that same color. It's all uniform right now, and it'll stay that way until we get into the actual weather in the car, but this is prep. And you can see already I don't worry about covering it totally, but I just basically get all the high spots underneath here. There's one truck done. One thing you gotta do is you do this, these paints have a tendency to dry quickly, so I always make sure I have water standing by, and I dip the brush in the water frequently, not to mix the paint off, but just to keep the bristles wet so the paint spreads better. I don't know why, but I've been doing this kind of painting and decaling for years, and you know, when your brush dries out, it makes it very difficult to get the paint to spread. There we go. We just go do the back sides of the other side of the wheel set here. Make it a nice uniform brown color. And I could paint the axles. I usually don't. You don't see them that much. You're not that noticeable. But the other thing I've done is I've gone in here and I painted the couplers that same uniform brown. And after the paint's dry, they give it a little flick in the couplers and make sure the springs and everything work fine. But that's the base there of the underbody. Got a couple other ones I've done this morning. So you just look at it from the side. Nice muted colors on the underframe and the truck. So I've got a bunch of these 50-foot box cars that I showed you in the beginning of the video that I'm working on here. So we're doing this dot fade. And here's one that's had the oil paints applied around the car. Here's one I've just finished wiping the dot off, or wiping the oil paint off. It's still wet from the turpentine. But what you use for this is odorless turpentine. And I use these, this time around I'm using raw umber, titanium white, burnt sienna, and cadmium yellow. And then what you do is you take a wide brush. I've used a very narrow pointed brush here, but you use a wide angle brush, or just a wide brush, to basically dip it in the turpentine, and you start wiping the colors down. And it looks pretty messy at first, but you keep wiping them down and blending it, and you're going to get a color that dulls out the car. Just keep rinsing and drawing the colors down. Now you'll get too much turpentine on here, so what you do at that point is you basically draw the brush off and wipe it off. And this is just going to dull the whole outward appearance of the car, give it kind of a matte look. So we're going to do this to all these cars, and once I've done that, we're going to come back and we're going to spray them with another clear coat of gloss. I guess that's the thing I didn't tell you at the very beginning of this. They've been sprayed with a clear gloss coat to allow the paint to go on. But after we do this first dot wash, we will gloss coat them again, because then we're going to come back with a dark color and hit all the panel lines and give you that relief effect. And then the final thing I will do is I will actually use chalks to weather the car. But that's a dot wash. I'm not going to go through it. It takes a little bit of working with it here, and I'll just keep going through all 9 of these cars. All right, so I have managed to do the base weathering using the dot fade on a bunch of cars right here. So just to show some examples, here's a Bangor and Rustic reefer that's been dot faded. It's still wet, so it's still shiny, but it's been done. We got a Pennsylvania gondola. Bangor and a Rustic hopper here that's been dot faded. Bangor and Aroostook boxcar. Here, a Reading car, and as you can see, what it's done is basically dull down the overall look of the car so it doesn't look shiny and plasticky. So it's taken me about an hour and a half to do all these cars, but I've done 9, 12, 15, 18 cars in an hour and a half using this technique. So I think I'll stop the video at this point. The next thing I'll do with these cars, I have another 5 cars to build in this build out here, but I will build them out and do the dot fade on them, and then in the next video we'll talk about how I do pin washes. And again, I don't do this and say I'm an expert. I just watch videos like you guys watch mine and try the technique. So pin wash is where you take and you're going to enhance all the lines and bolt patterns and stuff like that on cars. All right, that'll be it for this weekend, and next weekend we'll try to get out the pin wash.